So the good news is you're not lazy. You're just overwhelmed. In our fast-paced society in today's world, the hustle culture, all the crazy stuff that's going on, we have more options than ever, and there's too much stuff coming at us. And the reality is our brains haven't figured out how to overcome that overwhelm and get better at decision making and action taking stuff. So I want to talk about 5 different things today that are going to help you kind of think about where you're thinking about your laziness wrong and how we can redirect that in the right direction. The very first thing I want to talk about is misinterpreting overwhelm for laziness. Here's the thing. Think about this. I mean, 20 years ago, if you went into a fast food joint, you had like 3, 4, maybe 5 different types of burgers. You didn't have a whole lot of other options. You might have a salad. Side options were usually fries. That was pretty much it. And your soda options, yeah, you might have 5 or 6 different options. Nowadays, the sodas alone, they have a whole machine and you can get 152 different types of drinks. It's too much stuff and our brain can't figure that out. It doesn't know what decision to make because it's got options, and it's trying to figure out which one's the best choice, which at the end of the day, it's just whichever one you like the best, right? So the number one thing you need to look at is, what are all these options and how can I eliminate 90% of them? You know, if you've got too many options of things you should be doing in the day, stop, make a list of 3, 4, maybe 5 of them and go, okay, here's the 5 top. And now you've narrowed it down to just a couple of options. If you can keep it down to 3, it's going to be a whole lot better for you. Now it makes it a lot easier, okay? And you focus on those 3 things because the rest of them don't really matter. The next thing I want to talk about, number 2, is perfectionism. Now, most high achievers out there suffer from that thing we call perfectionism. It's really annoying and it keeps us behind. Just to give you a perfect idea, recording this video, my perfectionism kicks in and I want to go through and re-record it. I think I'm on, maybe version number 6 right now, okay? At this point, I'm like, I'm just going to get the darn thing done, okay? You've got to stop and realize good enough is good enough. Now, it doesn't mean you should be getting lazy, doesn't mean that you should put out subpar work, but know yourself well enough to know that this is great. Maybe I could do it better, but this is great. It's okay. So don't try to be a perfectionist on everything, because what ends up happening is we end up not actually launching or doing the thing. Don't put it out there because of our perfectionism. That is actually the biggest thing I know from a personal standpoint that's held me back for years. And I try to be a recovering perfectionist as best I can. But the reality is it is something that all of us have. It's a matter of how can we figure out, okay, yes, we're not slacking. We're not putting out subpar stuff. You know, if you're, especially like you're working with clients or anything like that, you know, don't put out shady work. Do your best. But your best does not mean spend 20 hours on something that should take 5. There's a difference. Okay. So you've got to be able to market that and figure out, okay, what are the pieces I need to cut out and realize, yeah, this is good enough. It's okay. Now, number 3, this is my personal, yeah. All right, so number 3, this is my personal worst one, which is mental fatigue. See, again, with the hustle culture and that we got to work 24/7, you got to put in 15 hours a day, all that kind of that mindset, we end up working ourselves too much. And the reality is, just like your phone, I've seen this great meme where it always talks about, you know, you freak out if your phone's down to 10% energy, but you won't give yourself time to recharge. We've got to take time off. Okay, I'm guilty of this. This is one of my personally worst things that I try to fix. I work better at it. I'm working better at it. But this is something that I tend to work 7 days a week. A lot of times I'm working, 10 hours a day. You got to give yourself time to rest. You got to give yourself time to really get away. And that doesn't mean not just work, because I know a lot of times, a lot of people that I know personally will actually go from, instead of being at work, they have a ton of activities all the time. And those activities may be fun, but you still got to have time to rest. You've got to get your brain a chance to stop. For me personally, when I do give myself time to do that, I will sit down in front of the TV and just veg on some goofy TV show, movie. I might even watch a cartoon or two and spend a couple hours doing that, doing nothing important. Because you've got to give your time, or give your body time to actually rest and to recover and just chill for a little bit. And so mental fatigue is a real thing. If you don't give yourself a chance to recharge, you're not going to be as productive as you should, and you are going to make more mistakes. Take it from me personally, okay? Number 4, lack of clear priorities. All right, number 4, lack of clear priorities. Now, here's one so many people in today's society go off the rails about working off of a to-do list. That the to-do list is the worst thing in the world. I will respectfully disagree with that one, and here's why. I understand some people don't like to work off a list and their brains are wired a little bit different. However, what I do find is that if you don't have a list of some sort, if you don't have that priority in a visual format specifically, if it's all just up here, you get easily distracted. And I know from my personal experience, when I don't go off of my checklist of the things I need to do for the day, I'm all over the place. I spend more time on social media. I might be checking my email way too many times, all these other things. But if I go down, it's like I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got these 5 things I need to knock out today. Next thing I know, I've closed all my other distractions. I'm getting them done. You know, it's so funny. I used to beat myself up because I always felt like I'd have like 2 or 3 things that I wanted to get done, and at the end of the day, I might get 2 of them done, but that third one, I was like, I only had 3 things to do today. Well, I started not just making a checklist of the things I need to do, but I also wrote down the things that I did do as well. And one day I went back and looked at that list, and I had 23 things on that list, and these were all important things. These are like responding to clients and phone calls and things like that that hadn't been part of the 3 things I have to do list. But I realized I actually got a lot done. And once I did that, I felt way better about it. So the list is important. The list helps. At minimum, just put together the list of 3 things. Again, those top 3 things, going back to number 1 on our list, the 3 top things that you think are going to actually make the biggest impact to help you for the day. And your goal is to try to knock those 3 things out. Don't make it too complicated. And by the way, there's all kinds of software and planners and all kinds of stuff for it. You could use a to-do list. I have an actual Rocketbook notebook, because all it is it's actual print paper, and it's just a checklist, and I'll write stuff on there. Or I have Todoist is my app that I use. I've tried a lot of different things, and most of them are too complicated. Todoist is real simple. It's just a list. So write down those 2, 3, 4 max things that are going to move the needle the most for you, the things that you know are the things you really should be doing, and focus on those. Close everything else and just focus on those 3 things. All right. So now let's go ahead and go into number 5. Modern distractions. I talked a lot about distractions. Here's the deal. We have too many options for people to pull our time away. We have social media and every version of social media that's out there. We have everything from Facebook to TikTok to YouTube. We have different connection methods. So you have texting, you have email, you have your phone, which most people don't actually use now, which is great. Telegram, WhatsApp, all these different things. I mean, Telegram alone, I probably get 5 messages a day. The sad thing is most of them are just scammers. They're junk. It's a distraction. So I turn that stuff off. I just turn it all off, and I'll come back and I'll check it all later in one shot. You've got to close all your social media. You got to turn off your phone, all those different things. Set your time to focus on those 3 things and get rid of all the other distractions. Force yourself to stay away from those other things. For me, I will close all that other stuff up, and I have Todoist as one tab on my browser, and I also have a productivity app. I use brain.fm is one of them that I use. That's one of my favorites. Focus at Will is another one. I have both of them. Sometimes I'll bounce back and forth. Brain.fm is pretty cool. But I have that music to help me focus. and I have the tab of the checklist, and then whatever thing I need to do. So if I'm writing an article, that's what I'm doing. That's what I've got. If I am editing a video, I have the software up. That's the thing that I'm doing. If I'm writing emails, I might have two windows. I got two monitors here. I might have the window over here with my notes on this side, and I have the document I'm writing on right here. If I'm even doing social media, cool, but I have all the stuff ready. So I have, if I'm doing video, if I have stuff written or I need to write stuff, I get all that stuff done before I ever open up the app. And then that way, all my content is ready. I'm like, okay, I got this picture, or I got this video, and I got these captions, blah, 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 blah. It's all together. Then I open it up, I post it, and then if I've got the time and I plan the time, I might go through and see whether notifications are there. But the goal is to check notifications, check messages, anything like that, and then get off, move on. Plan your day around that kind of stuff. Because if you can close the distractions, that's going to make a huge difference for you. So hopefully this was helpful for you. What I want you to do now, to take action on this, sit down, preferably on a piece of paper, but you can use digital on this. Open up a notepad or something and write down your top 3 things. Now, if you're not sure about those top 3 things, if there's 4 or 5 of them and you're not really sure what the 3 are, break them down and grade them. What's going to move the needle the most? That's the most important thing. You know, if this is for your business, what are the things that are going to generate income for your business? Secondly, how are you providing for the clients, the people who have already paid you? And then the third thing is, how are you going to get new clients? Well, there's 1, 2, and 3. Those are the 3 that you should be looking at most days if you're in business. But stop and figure that out. Obviously, more detailed than those 3 things, but those are the rough, those are the low versions. But think of those 3 things. Write that down on your list, and that's the first thing you should do when you get started on your business day. Hopefully this is helpful. Let me know what you think, leave a comment, all that kind of fun stuff.